Hey there, and welcome back. Once again, it is time for the golden age of DC Comics. 365 days where I take this beloved hardcover coffee table book given to me by one of my best friends about 2 decades ago. This has been surfing my coffee table ever since, and it is a great excuse to have comic book shop style conversations here, right now, today, with you. I'm really loving this show. I'm loving having an excuse to read about the history of these characters and the history of publication, and also American history during World War II, coming out of the Great Depression. See, the golden age of DC Comics runs from 1938 with Action Comics #1 and the first appearance of Superman, and it runs until 1955. The Silver Age begins in 1956 and goes until 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby, runs from 1970 until 1985. And then the Copper Age begins in 1985. This is an Abrhams publication, 2004. It's a little, you can see some tape on, it's well loved, I told you. And this is curated and written by Chip Kidd, Geoff Spear, and Les Daniels. There is a link in the description to the Amazon page where you can get your own copy at a reasonable price, and it will look great on your coffee table as well, and it makes a great gift for any kind of comic book geek like me. I know. I use this book for its intended purpose. It's a 365 days book. That means we open up to today's date. We're going to look at some comic book art. We're going to read the blurb, and then we're going to talk about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. We really are. And what goes great with coffee tables and coffee table talk? Well, pull up a chair, grab a cuppa, and let's have some coffee. This is great. It's Guatemalan Huehuetenango. This is a wonderful coffee bean. I love coffee. I also love to start off the show with something that I call the escapism caveat. We live in strange times, but in all honesty, all of history has been a strange time. So, but lately, for the past couple of years, activism. Activism is very important. The world has problems. People have needs and genuine risks, and these things need some spotlight, and people need to be taking care of each other and the wonderful planet that we live on. But activism is a bit pushy and is actually turning into quite of a bully, in my humble opinion. Because what is just as important as activism, it's escapism. It's the ability to leave the world's problems behind just for a few moments, whether it's sports, cinema, art, music, or something flighty like a comic book. We can go to fantastic places with fantastic powers. We could have the power of flight and supervision and heat breath. Or we can be a space pirate fighting aliens or an evil empire. Or we can be a gangster, trying to, run a scam over the cops. Or we can be in a motorcycle gang. Or we can just get lost in a game. These things exist for us to leave the world's problems behind and be spirited away just for a few moments. We really need this. And activism has bullied its way into our fandoms and into our spaces. And it's given us harmful labels if we don't agree with them, or if we object to them using and taking advantage of us, using our fandoms as platforms to advance their social messaging. You know what? The line is drawn here. Activism has its space and it has its place. Yes, it does. But does it have to be an active ingredient in everything? Do we need to be constantly lectured? What's up with the screeching and the preaching? I'm developing a case of compassion fatigue. I'm at the point when I'd rather ignore the activists ignore new fictions because of all the agenda and all the lecturing, and just focus on the good stuff and focus on escaping the world's problems, my own problems, just for a few moments. And that's the power of escapism, and it's so needed. And thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm so happy you're here, and I'm blessed and grateful. So let's get to it. Let's crack this book open. It is July the 10th, isn't it? July the 10th. And all right, it's my old friend, the Black Canary. Oh, yes, indeed. The beautiful, brainy, brawny gal with the canary cry and the fishnet stockings. Indeed. And she's got a really interesting and convoluted comic book history. Let's get to it. It is July 10th. This is story by Robert Knider, pencils by the legendary Carmine Infantino, inks by Joe Giella. This is from Flash Comics number 92, February of 1948. Originally drawn wearing a mask because, quote, an enraged underworld would have given a fortune for her identity, the Black Canary was a thief who purportedly reformed. She initially appeared as a supporting character in a Johnny Thunder story, and is shown here committing one of the most audacious robberies in the history of comic books. She has just swiped Johnny's spot in the pages of Flash Comics. He's history, and now that the deed is done, she no longer needs to wear that mask. That's true, and let's check out Black Canary. We talked about her before recently, but we're going to get into it again because this is one of the examples of what we refer to today as multiverse, different Earths on different vibrations or in different universes, and how they converge and interplay. So the golden age of DC Comics, by the time we get to the Silver and Bronze Age, these older heroes are relegated to what we call Earth 2. And the updated versions and the still younger versions of those current characters are on some place called Earth 1. Now, Earth 1 would have something called the Justice League of America. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Hawkman, Flash, and Black Canary eventually. And we're gonna find out a little bit more about our heroine here. And let's read. There are two Black Canaries, but originally they were the same one person. And over time, her story evolves and grows, and we need room to tell more stories. And there are convoluted comic book conventions thrown in there as well. And so she's got a really robust history. And but let's get to it. The original Black Canary, her name was Dinah Drake, and this is our Black Canary here that we see in this picture. This is Dinah Drake. Okay, and she is of the Golden Age, which becomes Earth 2. At her Golden Age debut, Black Canary was the alter ego of Dinah Drake and participated in crime-fighting adventures with her love interest and eventual husband, Gotham City detective Larry Lance. Initially, the character was a hand-to-hand fighter without superheroes who often posed as a criminal to infiltrate criminal gangs. I'm reading from the Wiki. Yes, I am. It's fine. Later stories depicted her as a world-class martial artist with a superpower, the Canary Cry, a high-powered sonic scream which could shatter objects and incapacitate and even kill powerful foes. When DC Comics adjusted its continuity, the Black Canary was established as two separate entities, mother and daughter, Dinah Drake Lance and her daughter, Dinah Laurel Lance. And the story since the Silver Age focused on the younger Black Canary ascribing her human her superhuman abilities to a genetic mutation, which they call a meta-human in the DC universe, kind of compared to the Marvel universe, which they have mutants. All right. And, but here's the rub. There was a transition, an unspoken kind of transition between the Golden and Silver Ages. And in the late 60s and early 70s, it's basically the character of Green Arrow under Denny O'Neil's pen that that is the line between the Silver and Bronze Ages. So it's before there were two separate identities, before the mother-daughter mantle was passed, there was just the one Black Canary, and it was Dinah Drake Lance. All right, and she lived on Earth 2. So by the time the Silver Age is around, we have the Justice League of America, and they were on Earth 1, and they played really well with their Earth 2 counterparts. They would have crossovers where you would have Alan Scott Green Lantern meet Hal Jordan Green Lantern. You would have Jay Garrick Flash hang out with Barry Allen Flash. You would have the older Superman with gray hair on the sides, the Superman of the Golden Age, hanging out with the younger Kal-El, Superman of the Silver Age of Earth 1. Batman is dead in Earth 2. But our younger Batman of Earth 1 is still alive. Robin is an older, is in his late 20s or early 30s, and is a crime fighter that inherited the mantle of Batman, but kept his name as Robin. And he pairs with the boy and teen wonder Dick Grayson of Earth 1. But there was one Black Canary. And what happens was, and I think it's Justice League of America, issue number 74, volume 1, cover dated September of 1969, written by Denny O'Neil, where the Earth 1 heroes have come to Earth 2 to help out the JSA, the Justice Society of America, and as it would happen, Larry Lance gets killed. And Dinah Drake Lance is brokenhearted that her husband has died. And with nothing to live for anymore on Earth 2, she emigrates to Earth 1. And so by Justice League of America number 75, Black Canary now becomes a citizen of Earth 1 and a member of the Justice League of America. So it's Dinah Drake Lance that comes over. And eventually, it's this character that falls for Oliver Queen, the Silver Age the Green Arrow of Earth 1. And eventually, through retroactive continuity, retcons, yeah, air quotes, the history of Black Canary changes a bit to have Dinah Drake Lance be the mother and Dinah Laurel Lance the daughter, and have it be a mantle that's passed from mother to daughter, and making them two separate characters. But originally, it was just the one character who jumped universes after the tragic death of her husband, and where she found another chance at life and superhero adventuring. Yes, we've been talking about comic books, and we're going to be talking about comic books every day for the rest of the year. We are. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. I would love to earn your subscription. Yes, please. Thank you. I'm a professional chef. I make cooking videos. There's a playlist called What's Cooking. I'm an amateur theologian, an ordained minister, a spiritual guy. We get spiritual on this channel with gratitude lists and Sunday sermons. Hashtag lighten up. It's about enlightenment and about how a little bit of spirituality can go a long way in your daily life. I am living proof. And I also take videos of bunnies first thing in the morning, grazing, on the lawn, having their breakfast. It's cute little nature moments. I also try to find on clear mornings, if there are no clouds, planets. There are 5 planets we can see with our naked eye. Hashtag Naked Eye Sky. So tune in for some great daily content you might be missing. Thank you so very much for tuning in. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you tomorrow in the funny pages, okay? Cheers. Bye-bye.